I come from a very small farm village where things were really limited and we had a tough life growing up. Not only that, I personally dealt with some tough issues for being a girl. And I was born in China. So at the time we had the one-child policy, and being on the small farm village on a rural area in China, it was quite difficult. They all wanted a boy, right? And then I was born. So a lot of criticism, a lot of judgment. At the beginning, they wanted to give me away, but they didn't. So they managed to keep me. And even at times, I was suicidal in the past.
Really?
Yeah, it was really tough. I couldn't open up, I couldn't share with anyone. Even with my family members, I was always closed, right? So, and later on in life, and I also went through a lot of tough times. You know, there were times that I was broke and I was almost homeless. So I had a quite rich experience in life, and I traveled around the world. And so when I had enough all of that, right, that really got me into what does it really all mean for being human. So that sent me on the journey of discovering what it means to be human and what's available for being human. So that's why I got the access which I got today by asking certain questions, by exploring on this journey, right? The way that I did. And because for me, I want to find the most effective way and the shortest route for us as a human being, live the way that we want to live, right? So this is what it is. The beautiful part of me being prepared for my mission today, right? So this is something that I really do realize, you know, all of us, no matter what we are dealing with, what we have experienced, it's all meant to be. It's a part of our journey, preparing us for what's ahead of us, right? We all here, you know, having a life purpose. We are on this journey, and like what you do, what are you doing, Dr. Sosin? It's so great, right? You are really building this community and contributing, because this is essentially what we are as human beings. We want to be out here connected with other human beings and contributing in a way that satisfying, right? So I'm absolutely with you on this journey, and I really truly believe what you said. And for me, my message is we can have it all, and this is what I'll be talking about today as well. And I found the access to do things, exploring what it really means to be human. So my question, why are we the way that we are? Do this, right? We look into ourselves. So this is a rare chance that we get to see ourselves from afar, like as if you are coming out of yourself and, you know, do a 360-degree scan of yourself and have a look, you know, why are we the way we are? Maybe our education, our schooling, our childhood experiences, family, right? All of this can be some sort of elements, right? And that's exactly what it is. It's from something from the past. Okay, we're talking about the Unwrap the Genius in You, right? So I don't know whether you heard of this cartoon called Aladdin's Lamp. Have you watched it before?
It's very well known. Right?
Yeah. So we know the genie in there, right? The blue genie. What can the blue genie do? So this blue genie is infinitely powerful. It can create or make anything into reality for you if you have the access to this blue genie, right? So today, which we will be talking about this, the topic is connected to something related to this. I'll be using a series of analogies to help you understand what is really the secret access to who we are as human beings, and having, you know, the kind of blue genie, because we all have this blue genie inside of us, right? If we find the access, that's when everything is possible. That's what I was saying, you know what, we can have it all. not like the way we think as, oh, we have to work hard, we have to, put in the long hours, kill ourselves to really get what we want, right? So this is exactly what we're talking about today. I want to help you unwrap the genius in you, at least to cultivate that awareness that you have this and feel the power that is in you and know who you are, right? So this is my passion, and I'm just so happy to be here and to share this with you, right? So, in life, talking about, what it is, right, that we're doing today, and then also why. Why is it important? If you look at all these categories in this picture, if you have a look at around yourself in your life, right, is it important to you? Which level of each of the area that you want to be? Do you think it's available? Have you been trying all sorts of different things to get the level that you want to get? And how is it doing, right? So this is the part which I want to share with you today. I want to give you 3 simple proven steps. This will help you break through any of your glass ceiling. So the glass ceiling is an analogy, which I'll share with you in a bit, okay? And so because I truly believe you deserve, and we all deserve to live a life that we can truly have it all. And that's my message. You know what? I believe in we can have the perfect health we want. We have the, perfect love, relationships, and most important of all, we have the money and time freedom. All of this can be created. So if you, let me ask you a question, right? If you know that you have that blue genie inside of you, do you think all of this will be difficult or easy? Of course, when you have the access, right? You have the access. You literally can tell the genie to create all of that for you. Do you remember in the movie, Aladdin didn't really need to do anything, right? You just need to tell the genie, and then all of that showing up. And this is literally what's happening for us as well. By the way, this is the principle. This is the secret many of the successful people use. Okay, so I'll share with you. So how we do things will be completely different. All right. So again, why are we here? By you being here, I am sure we're looking for, somehow about improved financial relationships with the money, more abundance, more, love relationships, or, more fitness and health, right? So these are the common things that we're looking for, right? So I acknowledge you for being here, and I thank you how much we have been trading time with trading time for money and putting in so much effort, and then even hoping to put more effort into something, or learning more, go to more seminars and doing more and more and more, and putting more books into ourselves, and just accumulating all sorts of knowledge, right? And at the moment, at the time when we were learning, it was cool because we noticed some difference, we're happy, right? But see, the thing about this is that knowing doesn't make the difference. Why? Because you just ask yourself, right? How many of you actually know how to lose weight? By eating less, doing more exercises, right? We all know, but how many actually doing it? How many actually achieving it? So this is the thing. So when we are all excited with the all the learning, for me myself, I have been exploring extensively, right? Doing all sorts of work, and when I was doing it, I was so happy, excited, but only a few days later, I would be just all of that excitement dwindled, and I will be going back to exactly where I was, right? So I was not satisfied. I started asking this question: what makes the difference, really, in life? So I wanted the shortest route. I wanted the shortest route for myself and my life, right? And I was actually practicing that as well. I was doing all sorts of different things and exploring to get to the shortest route, right? And then I found, wow, the shortest route is go. Let's do it from the root cause, right? Whatever issues we're dealing with, if you can tackle the root cause, everything would be different. And this ensures the kind of life which I want to live, right? The kind of life that we can have it all. Because when you do it, tackle it from the root cause, can you imagine? You take care of the root, all the rest is naturally coming aligned, right? It's effortless, it's natural. It's just, no such thing as what we're talking about, running around all over the place, firefighting and putting in so much effort, because we are doing stuff from the surface level. So this is my passion. And that's how I started in my company, which is called Paramount Shift, because I take it on as doing the most important work, right? The most important shift a human being can experience from the root cause, so that they can experience expanded happiness and freedom. And this is what I'm taking on. So, and my shift also comes from when I realized, wow, being an entrepreneur can really make a difference. So that's what I take it on, by action. So I am an action-oriented person. Having the kind of growth, right? I don't want to have the kind of growth that's like what I said. So many people are pushing, having like just a little bit of the growth, steadily this way, that way. I wanted the kind of growth that can make a jump. I call it exponential growth, right? So the 3 steps which I'll be sharing with you will literally help you, having that access, or at least having that awareness of exponential growth is possible. Because exponential growth is very much natural way of being. The exponential growth is my way and my choice, and that's actually literally my life, which I'll share a little bit more my story in a bit, so you will understand what I mean by this, right? So we can all do this if you want to. So this is the glass ceiling which I was talking about. Can you relate to yourself? Some certain times in your life, and this kind of feeling happens. You can see there's just some group of people, they are having so much, and then so many things available to them, it seemed like not available to me, right? So this is the glass ceiling, which represented, or kind of like a analogy for negative and limiting beliefs in ourselves, right? So some common ones: I'm not good enough, right? Other people are always better. I don't deserve, right? How can I deserve? So these are very much in my life. So this is the family picture. By the way, I'm the little girl on the right. So this is my grandmother, and this is the 3 siblings in China. At the time was really interesting, even though we had one child policy, but because we're in a small farm village, rural area in China, right? So what the policy was saying, the firstborn is a girl, they allowed to have the second one. So that's where I came. But you can imagine, right? Everybody was expecting a boy, and they were dreaming about having a boy, and then everybody was praying to have a boy. And then when I came, everybody was so disappointed. So right there, and they decided to give me away. And so especially, this is my grandmother. She's the matriarch of the family, and she said she got she, like, the moment I was born, right? It was so sad, everybody. And then she said, "Oh, we got to give her away. We got to make the space, right, for having a boy." So that was my story when I was born. And by the time somebody come to take me, my mom couldn't let go of me. She was crying and crying. And finally, my dad stood up and said, "You know what? We're going to keep her. We'll figure it out." So my grandmother was not happy, because now 2 against 1, she couldn't say anything anymore. So I got to stay in the family, but because part of it, because my characteristics, I was a bit rebellious. I didn't really listen to exactly what she said, right? Being obedient like my sister. So she gave me a lot of hard time growing up. I was always criticized. Nothing was good enough. So you could imagine now, right? My conversation started from birth. I was not good enough, and I don't deserve. And of course, all the way growing up, I'm not good enough, right? So this is exactly what happened to me in my life. I for the majority of my life growing up, these are the dominating beliefs that gave me who I was. Remember, I was sharing at the beginning, I was depressed and I couldn't open up and share with anybody. Sometimes I was even suicidal. It was really serious as well. So let me just share with you in another way, okay? Analogy, because I grew up on a farm, so I think this is easy to help you understand. Just a series of analogies to help you see what is it, right? So here, let's say we have these weeds in the garden. Let's call it the garden of our life, okay? And we have all sorts of limiting beliefs, right? We call them you can name it, right? I'm not good enough as the most common one. And some people are like people pleasing, that they got to do stuff to make other people happy. Otherwise they just feel like, they lose their love from people, right? So another way of putting it is kind of like a glass ceiling, right? So all of this it's the same thing, right? So let's come back to having this weeds, okay? Let's say the weeds in the garden. So let's say the first scenario. Okay, so let's say this first scenario is in a garden. Let's say garden of your life. You can see it's full of weeds, right? And we all have our dreams and desires, and then we want to sow the seeds of them, right? So yeah, here's a representation of that. And so this is the last bit. If you sow the seeds in the garden filled with weeds, what will happen? Can you see the result over here? Right? It's only natural. It's only nature. It will show you. You will not have the kind of results that you want, right? The harvest, the bountiful harvest that we all want, right? So that's why at the beginning we're talking about, all the health, love, money, the fitness, all of that we want, but somehow we just can't have it, it seems, right? So this is literally what it is, right? Why? Because we have weeds and we haven't cleared them. So let's imagine another scenario here, okay? See, let's see let's take a step. Let's dig out the roots of the weeds, okay? So here's the step. You can imagine, like I'm digging out everything, every bit of the roots, okay? And then now let's prepare the soil, okay? We do the tilling and we do the preparing it, raking, right? Let's see the third step. Let's sow the seeds. Voila, right? This is only natural. You will have the bountiful harvest. It's guaranteed, right? Of course, I mean, guaranteed in terms of not natural disasters happening, but in a logical way, you will see this is the much bigger chance of success, right? So this is, in a way speaking, my 3 steps are kind of like this, right? In this line, in this analogy. So what is it, the key? If in life we talk about look at yourself and then, can you relate with yourself, right? What is the key for us to have the kind of growth, the kind of life that we want to live, right? What is that shortest route to your dream life? This shortest route is actually, first step is to dig out the roots of the weeds in the garden of your life, right? So this is what I'm talking about regarding these 3 steps. So here, just to share with you some of the clients who are dealing with, right, in terms of what kind of limiting beliefs, how it came into their life. So I'm sure you all can see over here, right? So for some people, if you have kids at home, I think this will serve as a kind of a wake-up call and reminder for you to be careful of what you say, because the kids, they are all open. They absorb everything because their subconscious mind is programming for them to survive on this planet. So they allowing everything. So yeah, of course, growing up as some kids are naughty, right? When they make a big thing, and for some of my clients, as simple as they went in the candy store and they were so happy, excited, and they destroyed stuff, and then everybody was so angry with them. The mother is saying, "Oh, I'm not going to give you the candy because you don't deserve it." So then the kids grew up with this programmed in their subconscious mind. Of course, consciously, you don't need to believe it, but subconsciously, it's already there. You don't even know. So that's what happened. When you have all of these negative beliefs in there, this is what happens. It doesn't matter what level of studies you have, how cool, how advanced, and how much kind of knowledge or skills and you have, how many degrees you have, this still is there. That's why many people are miserable, right? They can't really get to the level that they want to get. So here's another example of a client from US, Caroline. So her story is really incredible, right? So she was from broke to this $1 million project where she attracted the $1 million investment, and she started a startup incubator, entered a very prestigious one, and then she also attracted a co-founder, a new team, completely new team, and then her business was just really rocking, right? So all of this happened because she discovered in our session what is holding her back. So this is what it is, right? So this is what her story is. We all have these kind of negative beliefs that sabotaging ourselves, but we just don't know. It's hidden from us, right? So when she was able to discover, having that clarity, it's kind of like, we're driving the car, we all have the blind spot, right? When you have an extra mirror to show the blind spot, of course, you will be able to see, right? You will not turn your car and, boom, all of a sudden there's another car there. That's accident, right? So for many of us, we had this kind of experience in life in like analogy, right? For me, I actually personally had an accident like that. I was telling the police, oh my God, I didn't see the car. It was just not there, right? I wish I could have an extra mirror to see the blind spot. So this is what it is in terms of how this works and how powerful it is, right? So remember I was sharing with you earlier, I was coming from a small farm village. This was my reality, literally not too many years ago. Yeah. So I was herding sheep and goats on this small farm village. Starting when I was really young, this was about, I think it was 10 years old, right? So the truth is that we're all the same. If I can do it, you can too, right? So the only thing you need is just to find the access. So here's the 3-step rapid transformation system, which I was talking about at the beginning. So I used a bunch of analogies. I hope you can understand more in terms of what I'm talking about, what makes the difference for us as a human being, right? So the first, you can see the crucial step is to identify and clear the negative limiting subconscious beliefs, because you can't fix what you don't understand, right? It's kind of like the weeds all over the place and you just wandering around sowing what you want to get in life and it just doesn't grow, right? It doesn't sink in. So the second one is to upgrade your belief systems, right? So once you identify, clear the weeds, right, that's what happens. So you will have space to program and to sow the seeds. Like reprogram is kind of like re-engineering, right? Whatever you want in life. Once you have this into your life, it's literally like your subconscious mind is like the blue genie, right? Once you have the access to the blue genie, you can just literally tell. The reprogramming is like the process of telling your genie, right? So let's use the same, like the analogy of the farming or gardening, right? So the first step is like clearing the field, and the second step is kind of like preparing the soil, and the last one is sow the seeds, and this ensures the success of your bountiful harvest of whatever that you want in life, right? So this is the process which I was talking to you about, right? So, here I'll share with you just quickly some stories of the clients which I have been working with. They're from around the world. And this is a very powerful message. And this message is not about me. This message is not about you, right? I want to share with you your power that you have inside of you, the genius that you have inside of you, and your genie. Connect with that blue genie that you have, right? We all have that. It's not that you don't have it, you're lacking, that you need somebody to give to you. It's all about waking it up for you, and then you will see what's possible for you. So this is Rob, and the interesting story is really funny. I was actually in London attending some seminars, or also seeing some of my clients, and coming back from London to Dubai on the airplane. And guess what happened? He was sitting next to me with his girlfriend who was pregnant. They were coming for a holiday. So his girlfriend was actually very frustrated with what's going on with him, and he was also very frustrated. And he did so much and explored so much. He wanted to really take care of what he's dealing with inside of him. He had some tough, like really rough childhood, so a lot of negative beliefs that he had that's torturing him, tormenting him. Even though he had a really good job and really good status and so smart, but he just couldn't cope with what's going on. And their relationship is kind of like strained in a way, because the girlfriend is also giving birth to a new baby, so they're starting a family, so they really wanted to have this sorted out. So we started talking and sharing, and he was like, wow, this is the information which I've been waiting for. So yeah, he did a session with me, and this is what happened to him. He's a changed person. Everything about that is just shifted because his negative beliefs got cleared, and now he has his new beliefs about himself. He has a grip about what's going on and who he is. So everything changed for him in his life, and I'm so happy. Now his baby is really growing up, and they are coming back to Dubai again. So we already arranged to meet and catch up, and so happy for them, for this new family. So this is another one, really incredible story. So her story is even more magical, because she was dealing with this pain, and she just didn't. She did everything. She went to the doctors and uh, tests after tests and physiotherapists, and just nothing could help her for over a year. She had this pain in her hip and foot, and she's a gym person, you can see, right? Very energetic, and her life was so miserable, and she almost worried that she got some rare kind of disease or even cancer. She was going to die because nobody could tell her what it was, but she was just suffering. And by the time she came to me, we discovered her root cause. She was laughing. She couldn't believe it, that was in her subconscious mind. She has some negative beliefs about herself, and guilt, etc., and then it caused her to have this. So the magical part is that by the end of the session, her pain literally gone. Can you imagine? This is the kind of power that we have, right? I'll share with you why this is so important, right, in a bit. So this is another one about weight. We have all these weight issues, and how many of you actually notice that sometimes that you shouldn't be eating all that sweet stuff, you shouldn't be eating all that ice cream, but you just couldn't help, your legs just carrying you to the fridge, and then you open up and you ended up eating the whole tub of ice cream, even though you said you shouldn't eat, you don't eat, right? So this is what it is. If you tackle it from the root cause, from your subconscious mind, and tell your genie to do that, that's when all the results happen. Because you have the genie. Actually, what happened to all of us couldn't help it is because at the beginning of our life, we gave the command. That's the old command to genie. So the genie, so incredibly powerful, right, has been faithfully and loyally carrying out that command all this time. And afterwards, you lost the connect, you lost the access to the genie, and the genie is still working faithfully for you. And you just don't know, right? So what happened in the session, usually what I do is that we go back and then we tell the genie, we don't want the old one, we want the new one now. That's how we clear it. So after we do that, really a lot of wonderful things happen. Like for example, when the weight loss, weight control is established, many people can even reverse their diabetes. So this is what happened to Michael. So there's also a lot of fear of failure for many people. They couldn't start because, for example, especially people who are considering starting a business, right? So this is a huge thing, and they know consciously everything's going to be fine, they can work out, but there's this fear of failure, just like that glass ceiling, is just preventing them from going to the next level. Once this is done, their new life starts, and then they can really truly work on their business with newfound energy, and then, like unstoppable. So this is the part which I want to share with you, why all of this happening, right? So if you look at ourselves and see, this is the reality, right? As human beings, who we are kind of like this. The 5% or less is our conscious mind. This is the logical mind, the willpower, right? And this is where you read books, learning, accumulating knowledge, right? So that's why I'm saying degrees doesn't really make the difference, because that's only about 5% of you. So this is the part which I'm talking about. The majority of who we are is from our subconscious mind. This is where the genie is, right? So this 95% is literally the emotional mind. This is where everything about us, how we feel about things, our behaviors, who we are being, our likes and dislikes, and we're just naturally driven to do things without us knowing it. From what? If you didn't do anything about this, it will be from the past, right? All those negative beliefs about I'm not good enough, I don't deserve, right? And that's what's driving us, like the glass ceiling preventing us from this. It's kind of like an autopilot. You cannot control it, right? It just happens naturally. The part very interesting about this is that when we are born into this world, let's say for now, we all have laptops, computers, cell phones, smartphones, right? When you buy all those things, or even washing machines, you will have a menu, right? The menu is giving to you, saying how to use this, how to use that, so you can maximize the effect of whatever the machine or the tool that you have. But as a human being, can you imagine how incredible it is? We came into the world. Nobody gave us any menu about how to being human, and we just boom dropped in the world. And we just, the only thing we can do is just absorb whatever's around us so we can survive, right? Once we absorb all of that, it just became us. That's in our subconscious mind. We are just running on the autopilot, right? We bash here, we walk into the wall there. We don't know why. We have all these horrible experiences, right? So this is the part which I am tackling with you over here, right? So let's say all of these negative beliefs, limiting beliefs, use some other analogies. Okay, so look, thermostat. Let's say it's kind of like a thermostat. If you aware of the thermostat, if you set to a certain temperature, 72 degrees, okay? This is the Fahrenheit, okay? So if you set to this temperature, it doesn't matter what happens out there, right? The temperature can go down, go up, whatever. Eventually, it will always come back to this temperature, right? It just give you that set. Or another one, look at this, the blueprint. When you're building something or when you're doing anything, once you have that blueprint, what will happen? Doesn't matter what you do, eventually it will all come back to this blueprint, right? That's what happened to us. That those beliefs are like the blueprint in us. Or for some people, right, if you feel that it's kind of like a set point, for some people that's what they refer to as the set point, right? So if you see the set point, you will always come back to that set point. Those are the belief systems inside of you. So that's why, regardless that you want to go to the next level, you want to do all this stuff, but you just can't do it, right? So let me share with you another thing. Have you all heard of these stories about the lottery winners? Right? Let's say use this one as example. Okay, this lottery winner, doesn't matter how much money they get. Few years down the road, they all come back to where they were, right? And let's look at this one, this picture. Okay, we just use this gentleman as example. Okay, no political or nothing involved here. Just to see, to share with you what's the difference, right, of the mindset. So the lottery winners, they haven't upgraded their system. They always have this broke mindset. So that's why they have all this money, but they eventually will just come back to where they are, broke. So this gentleman, right, he grew up with all this uh, everything available to him. He has this abundance mindset, right? The billionaire mindset. Even though in his business life he encountered some setbacks and he lost everything, just in a matter of 2 years he got it all back and even more, right? So this is what's possible. So that's what we're talking about. Mindset is everything. If you have the correct mindset, your life will definitely moving towards that, right? That's what I'm saying. Do the work that really makes the difference instead of running around and doing from outside, right? So this is what I'm saying. How we are, our negative beliefs or whatever, it manifesting our thoughts, right? So the thoughts are things, and it is also science, right? So I'll share with you the science part of it, right? Why, how, and so you understand, right? So if you're familiar with this water experiment from this famous doctor Masaru Emoto's work, right? He did this experiment on water, and with the thoughts, words, and how it affect the water, right? Water uh, has hidden messages. So I'll share with you a screen of this, right? So you can see over here different messages, how it affected to the water crystals. So what happened is that they took the water and they put in a petri dish and put in the freezer below 20 degrees Celsius. And then when they took it out, just as it's melting, they put under the microscope, they observed the crystals, right? Can you see all the different crystals with the different messages? It is so incredible, right? See the beautiful one, like thank you, I love you. It's almost like perfection, like snowflakes, right? But if you say, oh, you make me sick and I hate you, evil, you fool, do you see how, right? The kind of effect to the water. So what they did is that they studied the prayer also. Let's say, what is the effect? So they took some polluted water actually from this Fujiwara Dam in Japan. So the first picture is before they did anything, right? So this is very polluted. You can see the water is just like this, really murky and disgusting look. And then this is the same water sample, right? After they did offering the prayer, which is all the wonderful things that they say to the water, right? So this is what happened. You imagine, right? They did nothing, just prayer. So they wanted to say how far can this go. They took 10,000 Japanese, and then they offered this prayer period in 2 hours period. And so before they did the prayer, they collected water samples from around the world, right? So first from collected from Japan, and then from US, right? This is the St. Croix River, US, and then the Mississippi River. So the water samples, of course, you can see the river samples usually are kind of polluted. They're not really pure and clean, right? So what they discovered is that the effect is the same. Even though they pray in Japan, you know what happened? The water samples that they collected from all the different locations, right? Before and then after, it had a similar effect to this. It had a similar effect to this one. Literally purify the water. So what does that tell you? It's the same, right? It doesn't matter where you are, across the world or not. The effect is everything. So I think this message is really serving us in terms of now what we're dealing with in a pandemic. We are all in it together, and we all affect each other, our thoughts and our feelings. So that's why I want to do the work I am doing, because each and every one of you, when you have the awareness, when you vibrate higher, and when you shift your thoughts and limiting beliefs, you contribute to the world, you contribute to all of us, to the whole, right? So that's how important it is. So why it's relevant to us, this water experiment. Have a look at this human body, right? That's us, right? This is who we are. We are essentially water. Can you imagine, right? All those times you saying to me, oh, it's so stupid. Maybe you did something, the first thing you say is, oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, I'm so dumb, right? This is what happened. The effect is, you saw in the picture, right? So what does this also tell us about the success? Literally, every thought I think, oh, they're not gonna like me. Oh, they're not gonna give me the job. Oh, I'm not gonna find the parking, and they won't like they won't pay the price that I ask. All of this, you are paving the highway. You're literally paving the highway with your thoughts. Everything that you're saying, thinking, is going to give you that experience in your reality, right? So let me take a quick check. Everybody's okay?
Yep.
Yeah? Are we all here? All okay?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And then let me share with you, right? Something that you can do. You can practice for yourself, right? If you don't, seeing all of this that I'm talking about may be good, right? Maybe it sounds cool, like concept. Now I want you to practice yourself, right? I wanted to do a exercise together. Okay, so this exercise is gonna shift, really, potentially can shift how you see things forever. So here it is. I want to, all of you, align both of your hands together like the first picture. Okay, you will see that line, there's a condensation line. You see in the second picture, right? That's the first line. You can all find that. Once you align your hands like this, right? For most of you, you will discover there's one finger, let's say your small little finger, one will be shorter than the other one. Okay? Can you see that? Have you found that? Are we all able to find that? So if in case, for some people, okay, if they're both at the same length, it's fine. Just take whatever hand that you have. For the people who have the shorter little finger, I want to take that shorter one, the shorter hand, in front of you. Okay, take the shorter hand in front of you. So what we're gonna do in a while is we're gonna say to this hand 8 times together, grow longer. Okay? Do we have we all have a hand in front of our face now? Dr. Yaya? Hello?
It's like this.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, great. So now hold the hand in front of your face. Let's do it together, okay? We're gonna say it 8 times out loud to this hand. Grow longer. Okay, so let's do it together. 1, 2, 3. Grow longer.
Grow longer.
Grow longer. Grow
Grow
longer.
longer.
Grow longer. Grow longer. Grow longer. Grow longer. Grow longer. Stop. So now, okay, great. I want you to line your hand up again, like what we did at the beginning, okay, using the same line. And check what happened to your hand. Some feedback? Anyone had any interesting thing happen to you?
Absolutely. I see it. What's happening?
Exactly, right? So
Interesting.
so this is what we are talking about over here. This is literally the power of our intention and power of our thoughts. This is truly over physical matter. First, our physically, right? And then all throughout the universe, right? So this is why when I was doing the recording for you at the end, so for all my sessions, I make a recording at the end. So whatever that you want will literally have that repeated to, throughout the about 21 days period. So this is constantly working on your physical matter, on your physical DNA, your cells, like what Rob said, right? He felt like it was in his DNA, like shaping all of this, which is so true. The epigenetics these days, it
Yeah.
is all science, all of this. Epigenetics is saying that before we had the old thinking that genetics control us. But what we discovered is actually we control the genetics by our thoughts. The thoughts that you think literally can turn on and off any genes, right? How cool is that? This is literally what I'm talking about. Wake up to your power. You really truly have that power of controlling yourself, right? It's kind of like, wow, how cool is that, right? This is science, by the way. This is actually research done by the medical teams, etc., about this, right? So as I was sharing with you earlier about my story, so it all started over here. So how it happened was that when I was about 10 years old, I was out herding sheep and goats in the fields. And so this one particular day, I was out with the sheep, and all of a sudden I heard this loud booming noise coming overhead. And I was, surprised, right? I looked up and I saw this gigantic airplane. And it was so unique because that airplane was flying very low. I felt like I could see the windows on the sides. So I was so mesmerized. And then I said to myself, you know what, intuitively, right? I said, one of the days I will be on an airplane like that, traveling around the world, doing the things I love and making a difference everywhere I go. That's kind of like just became my command, became my, I call it inner GPS, because I said so. I wanted that. And then also another very interesting thing is that, I just intuitively closed my eyes and I saw myself already there, going places and dressed so well and so happy. And this is literally what happened, right? So it all started there. And then of course, later on, when that became my inner GPS, so everything started in my life just supporting me to get there, right? I started working, studying really hard, and doing all the things that's required. And in my family, you can see this is the family of 5, my parents and then 3 siblings. I did have a younger brother later on. That's good news, finally. They're happy, kind of. So when I had that inner GPS, you know what happens? It's kind of like I'm sending out an email to the universe. This is what I want. Who wants to play? And all across the Pacific, right, in Canada, somebody responded to my email, and this is my ex-partner, right? He came all the way from Canada to Inner Mongolia, China. That's where I was born. I was studying at the time at Inner Mongolia University. So he came all the way there, and then we fell in love. That's how everything started. We're traveling around the world, and so this is the when my transformation really happened. When I was in Thailand and Cambodia, I opened myself up for all the new things, and I transformed myself first at my physical level from my body. Right? See, Dr. Yahya is talking about the healthy living. So I got into the raw food diet, and I did the 7 days water fast. This is literally no food, just water, 7 days, 7 nights. Right? On the physical level, I cleared and I purified, and then I got the access to the quantum physics. So the quantum physics literally provided me with a new look and elevated my spirituality in terms of how everything is, right? And then discovering myself, and then what it means to be human. So all of this really showed me from the quantum physics level, and also other explanation. We are all frequencies, all of us, and all these frequencies, how we vibrating with the frequency is determined by the thoughts and the beliefs that we have. You can't see yourself, but other people can tell how you are vibrating, how they are feeling about you, your energy, right? So this is how everything is. So this is the law of attraction. This is the universal law that nobody can be an exception. We attract what we are. So that's why when people are saying, "Oh, I want money, I don't have money. I want a job, I don't have a job." So essentially, what you're saying, right? Your vibrations is that I'm in lack. So you know what happens is that you will be giving more lack. That's the secret, right? So you got to affirm that you have it all, which is the truth, and then be grateful. That's when all of these things will actually be coming to you instead of you repel it, right? So, you know, my life is incredible now. I'm literally traveling around the world, if anywhere I want to go, and doing the things that I love and making a difference, right? And living in Dubai and being this incredible uh, person that I want to be, and successful and running my business. And you know, this is also one of the things which I wanted to be, being a woman CEO, and I am now, right? But not always like this before. So at the beginning, I shared a little bit about my life story. I was actually really depressed and I was suicidal. I was one time broke and homeless almost. And no, the interesting thing about that is that this is the part which I want to share with you. Circumstances is really nothing. These are our lessons, right? So how did I get to where, you know, like it's so bad, right? Broke and homeless, all of that. I felt like it was my part of journey. I got to experience all of that. And it's not like my life was like that always. I actually had an amazing chance back in 2008, had an amazing, wonderful inheritance. It's a big one also. It's from my ex-partner. We're together at the time, right? We're really living the high life and doing all the wonderful things. But guess what? We've blown all of that away. And we then ended up in a really bad place. So what I discovered was that later on, you know, sitting in this apartment, no, I mean, not even an apartment, it was a deserted place with tears in my eyes. The only thing we can afford was this ramen packaged noodles. That's how we survived for a bit. You know, money really truly is not the issue. Having money or not having money is never the issue. It's the limiting beliefs, the childhood programming that determined where I can be. It's kind of like that lottery winners, right? So what's inside of me determines where I can be in life, right? How I want to be. So what I discovered after all of that, and I said, you know what? I had enough of that. I don't want that anymore. Okay, so what can I do? So I explored and I aligned myself with the best in the world. So it's over a decade of search, and I really studied with the best and the best, and then all these mentors are just so amazing. I feel like I'm truly standing on the shoulders of the giants, right, to get to where I am. You know, after all this learning, you know what I discovered? I am the answer. The power is all within me, right? I unwrapped the genius inside of me, so I can now share with you what is really happening for us as human beings. So remember earlier I was talking to you, I was so criticized and I couldn't share, I couldn't open up, so let alone sell. Are you kidding me? No, I wouldn't want to put myself out here. Impossible. But after what I realized, it's a responsibility, it's my mission, because many people's bigger and better future actually is in my hand, right? If I don't come out and share and offer people what I have, how can I make that difference? So that was my shift, and that's what happened to me. You know, what I'm really truly committed is to solving big problems in this world. I want to really make the difference that's, you know, on a global level, because I know my power now. So This is my message, really, truly. How can I make the most difference to the most people? My message to you is you can have it all. So first of all, you got to believe it. You got to have that possibility in your mind, knowing it's possible, right? And so I really take it on as my mission to support the leaders. So these are leaders, I feel the leaders for everybody should be a leader. Leader for your family, leader for your community, just leader wherever you are. It's about taking responsibility, right? Once you become that leader, you will shine the light. You'll become, the illuminating light for your community. So this is what I am passionate about, right? All of this which I talk about, it's really science. You just need to get the combination right, the combination to the lock, right? If you do the combination of the lock correct, of course any safe you can open, right? That's the lock. What's inside is your true abundance or anything that you want in life, right? So all of this is available. It's just science, right? So what is that one thing that can change everything for you? This is my question as well, always, right? So if you asking yourself the same, here is what I can offer you. First, you got to clear what is really in your subconscious mind. That's I call the old commands or the directions or commands or instructions you gave to your blue genie, right? That's still there, and it's very powerful. The blue genie is infinitely more powerful than your conscious mind, right? It will override anything that you give if you didn't clear the old programming, the old commands. So after you clear that, of course, you need to give the new program, new commands. That's what I call the reprogram, re-engineering in your dream life. Your genie will listen and will create anything you want, right? So, I'm going to ask you the question, who wants the effortless success and joyful living? Actually, who wouldn't, right? So if you believe it's possible, it can be possible. So, if you shift your perception to this, right? Impossible and I'm possible is just like this. One shift. So I hope this session today will provide you with that shift, right? Seeing what is possible for you. So I'm going to break some bad news for you, okay? So we're based on everything that we talked about, right? In real life, really, truly, you can be the best in sales and marketing. You can be the best in negotiations. You can even be best for doing real estate and investing or best in doing your business. But if your subconscious belief system, your blueprint is not set for this high level of success, you can be blocked from the kind of money that you want and the true happiness and your life purpose, right? The fulfilling living life purpose. Remember our lottery winners? Even by chance, right? You do get large amount of money, you will still somehow manage to lose it. That's me, by the way, right? My story, remember? So yes, we can acknowledge we are programmed by these old negative beliefs. It's ingrained in us when we grow up, right? Nobody can be exempted from that. But the good news is that you can actually clear now, right? You are aware you have that power. You are on the driver's seat, right? You can do something about it instead of letting your old program autopilot you, right? Giving you the kind of experience. So literally, you can really reset and then the blueprint and then create that natural and automatic success, which I was talking about, right? The effortless and joyful living. So this is what we're talking about, right? You can reprogram. That's what I do, exactly what I do, right? Change your blueprint from subconscious level, and it's forever, right? That's the 95% of you. That's the genie. Once you tell it, that's it. It's going to be faithful servant for you for life. Of course, until the next time you want to go to another level, that's another story, right? So I want you to imagine now, okay? I want you to feel that, what it feels like that your desires become the source of your habits. You just do it, right? It's natural for you now, effortless, how it feels like in your life. You're naturally guided. It's kind of like inner GPS to get to where you want to be.